Good morning. Or whatever it is, wherever you are. This is going to end anytime soon. So we should be able to hit that good. Alright, so I had to do a little bit of off-stream research in... Well, I did a little bit of reading last night and found out that Docker has some systems for config in secret, but they're all geared towards what they call Swarm, which is the sort of really high-end, big microservice management layer. Could be something to play with, but for now, I just... it appears that those solutions are all based on bind mounting some stuff in, so I'm going with something similar like that with a config directory. So I did a little bit of setup to create a S3 bucket and an IAM role that has the rights to view and to upload files to that. And then I set up a S3 command. It's probably just going to do help. It's just a command line tool that will let you list and push and stuff. And set up a config file for that. So in sort of that, I set up a S3 config file that has the keys in it, which I will hopefully never have to show, but I could reset the keys if I end up having to do that. And then an example one with the keys removed. And then I also, when I first got the keys, I just put them in an end file because I use that for foreman stuff occasionally. And that's also going to get ignored. And then I had copied out an executable at some point. And then I played around with the cross file to bind this in. I mean, you might actually, well, maybe I don't want to put it at /config because that's where Docker stuff. So right now I'm just mounting that in so I can get access to it. There's still some stuff to do here. For instance, we actually need S3 command in our cross compiler. So for the time being, to avoid reinstalling stuff, I'm just going to put this here, and then at some point we'll probably collapse these all back down to one run, because supposedly that makes smaller files because you have fewer layers. Then we will have the means to start playing with the command, and probably that will become the command that you run similar to our server Docker file. Command run the server, the command here will be upload the file once you have the container where you can bind in the key to do that. And you know what, I probably want to do, I think I want to do some renaming of stuff in here, because then we've got a whole bunch of Docker files that, in context, that might get a little bit confusing. But for now, that rebuilds our container. And I should probably... Well, he didn't push a new binary yet, so it shouldn't be a big deal if we haven't updated the source. I will need to update my server if we go running the private servers, because I went and updated all those files, and we're going to need them to match. And unfortunately, everything after the context copy seems to sort of reset the caching on the further layers, but so I don't know. Oh no, okay, I do know how to do this. I do know how to do this. We can... can do that, and then we can copy only. Does this follow normal copy semantics where I can just say copy it into that folder? I would hope so. So we can see if multiple runs of that will be able to, and indeed, config git. But that is the git attributes file. Well, I think copy makes layers too. Since that's a small one, we can probably leave that. Also, run is supposed to make layers. So for the time being, let's take these out, because those are a lot of work that we're not as interested in for some of this build optimization stuff. Okay, so we're going to run it this time. Then we copy all the rest of the context. Okay, if we compile again, okay, we don't have to redo that step. Okay, we found a way around redoing all that download stuff every time. Cool. It also means we're kind of mixing changes. All right, however, to actually for real test and upload, we actually do have to build this. But now we should be able to build this and I think sit on it for a little bit. And then at some point I need to work out version tagging on this as well. Assuming we'll eventually be able to build multiple versions. Oh, this actually is updating. Okay. Which means I probably want to update my local one so we don't have to actually do any fetching on builds. So I'm using a little bit of a trick where I have the Git repositories in my context here, and then we also attempt to update them inside the container. So if I have them locally, we shouldn't have to pull everything down on every build. But if I'm in an environment where I don't have that, it will still just be able to fetch them and actually build something. It'll take longer. Alright, we should have that build. I wanted to, it was cross fetch, get these all up to date. Ooh, we didn't get the sed switch correctly for local. I guess I wasn't testing that. Fetch latest tag. Oh, nope, actually that was correct. It doesn't accept the version argument, but it doesn't spit out GNU, so we end up doing the correct fix. But I need that output to grep. Oh, is that going to stand error? Thinking, where does the other one go? So, well, actually, so there's basic output. Yeah, so that's stand error. And the other one was successfully GNU testing. Oh, so that gets weird. Well, no, because you specify certain pipes. Stand out, stand error to file, so it's 2. Stand out, stand error, stand error. Oh, that's just and. Stand out to stand error. None of this is like 2 different places. So I think that works. Well, the cross fetch is a local operation, so not too big a deal. Also, I didn't have to do anything, but we should have still attempted to do that. So, okay, cool. Now we want to make sure we have our invocation correct. And we'll probably have to clean up some of our files later. So do I currently have build client cross? So we've got make. What does our context looks like? Or our container right now. So cd one life. No, not one life, game source. Do we have... Actually, I guess the fetch is actually what puts out the version number, isn't it? Git checkout, latest tagged version. Server code version number. Where does the client get its version from? Game source would have to be dealing with it. Or maybe it's actually, maybe it's in Minor Gems. Version checking. Editor and server build notes, server code version. Okay, so it's no, that's in the server. Remote server update, pull and build test system, server code. Generate data only diff bundle. How about, would the client use version number? Because I know there's a place that came up in recent history. Version number, where he was doing those comparisons. Okay, that's extern, so that's actually coming from somewhere else. That's an accurate version number. So is there something in the build process that just updates the code? Oh. That's build scripts. I might have run some of those. But actually, my builds have been fine. So it actually have to be something in the make file? Which might actually be in, partly in there isn't even a make file here? Well, maybe I've set it to ignore that? Make file. One Life, game source. Nope, I've set it to, well, oh, maybe it hasn't been configured, so it hasn't made a make file here. That means it's probably a version of the one from Minor Gems. Well, oh, either that or the configure. No, the figure script's pretty general. Although maybe just game would do that. So I've been building this, and it has building it on the Windows, and it has not been complaining about version drift. Of course, I also run make distribution on a regular basis, so maybe that's been updating it. Can I do... I guess it's just not finding it. Let's try Minor Gems, make file. Well, should be really any of them. Mm, let's port audio. Game platform. Well, it's not too terribly big either. So maybe the generated one is bigger. Alright, well, I've got access to that as well. We'll just, that's actually pretty close to what we want. Clean up that, clean up that. Alright. One life, game source. Ah. Make file. Oh, so I guess we found, where's our PWD that was actually in build. Version number. Unless Jason is just going in and editing the file every time. I haven't really been paying attention. Now, unfortunately, this repository is going to be a bit of a mess because of stgit. I might actually want to look at one of the other ones. Although most of them, we're probably going to use it at some point. So at some point, I might want to think about going back to Quilt or something, just because that history becomes kind of ugly. Was I not where I thought I was? And I guess there's all, I've got the whole distribution thing in here and all the data. All right, so we found that they were doing that fix-up in build and post. Are those called, I mean, build and post. Well, I mean, that is changing the source, so it might be that he's just committing that. Update process. Update the game CPP version number. Yeah, so by the time it's published... Huh, I never even thought to read through this before. Adding a new Linode remote server. So that just says exactly how everything works. Okay, so yeah, judging from the version, well, yeah, no, I never ran this script. Unless it is called by, it's not called by anything else. So he must just be committing the version numbers every time he does it. So what is that? What was that? A lot of files here. Just CD'd back up. Build and post, sure. Version number, game.cpp. Oh, wait, this is the current version. Number 2. Oh, it is a manual update. Oh, because you have arguments. Last release number, new... Oh, this actually does differencing. Okay. Alright, so our fetch process is still outputting server code version number. So without getting into any fancy fetching of... Well, we might eventually have to do that. But as long as it's bigger, it should be okay. Any extraction of the version number, which you've already got a bit of a command to do. We should be able to generally use server code version number, and that will be roughly equivalent. Okay. So we will pop back up there. So if we want to, where are we here? Cross context source. We have build client cross. We've got a server code version number. So one of the things we want to do when we're done here, and this is where I don't know shell scripting as well as I might like. We want to copy. We are in game source. Move even. Maybe having as a no name be useful, but move one life to. Well, we'll do this right now. It actually is the base game. And whether it should be versioned, I don't know yet. Can I just interpolate here, or do I have to do some other syntax? Well, I guess this is where we should prove out the command, huh? And we're actually in this context, so move one life to one life. Can we just interpolate this? And we are here, so this would have to be cat server code version number. Okay. That's kind of nice. So there is our command all laid out. Of course, I guess the problem with... no, if we're going to post it, that would make sense. Oh, you know what? I should probably actually zip that. In which case, this might turn into more of a upload script that does all the S3 command stuff. We'll do nothing while we're in this context. So actually, we want to do more like, well, we do need to make it nexy. We put 7-zip in here for unzipping some things. Is it 7z? Yes. Commands, add files. I guess it would have to be... You have to have a command, you have to have an archive. 7z. So we're going to do this. Move one life to one life.xz. 7z add. It was archive file. And this is where we'd want to do like one life cat. Yeah, server code .zip. And we're going to add one life.exe. Okay. And then this, we would want to do cross context. You know what? We can probably do this move here because we're producing an XE right now. Upload cross context. Right, right, so we're doing edit. This is a cross-build contest. I don't, So zip it, and we think S3 command. Well, maybe that should be part of the build process, because this is going to be, because that you can do in advance. Oh, I did. Where am I? Oh, I'm in cross context. Maybe that should go ahead and do that. And then this, we're just going to go ahead and start. Well, I need to once again, I need to prove this command out. And I think my console has this merged in. Oh, well, I can get the version number from the server code version again. Or I could probably just say star.zip, really. S3 command config equals and if I check on bind mounting, maybe I could mount that into home. I don't know. I think it's put. Oh, because I am in here. Display bucket, make bucket, remove bucket, list objects, okay, put, file. Put, we're in game source. Well, we could even do that. To S3. And this is an unmodified client right now. But we're getting our upload test. Oh. Is there more than one of these? Or are we not succeeding? Because it seems like it did that twice. Okay, so maybe we actually do want to work out some shell stuff to... because that seemed a little weird. Cat server code version number. Oh, you know what I'm forgetting? Nope, it does it twice. Okay. I don't know why it does it twice. Go back to the simpler version then. I'm forgetting. And is there a recommended place for switches? Options parameters. So we would ideally want, okay, config, put it public. One of one. Repeats first upload. Delay between confirmations. Double output. Run with debug. Well, turning 400. Oh, and then it falls back to V2. Haven't been able to reproduce. So is there a flag I can specify that says use V2 maybe? So we had pulled. Oh? Was I getting that before? So I may have to upload some different names because we did do this several times. Oh, I don't actually know. Is there perchance a command to give us the public URL? Oh, I probably don't have right permission issues from this. So we want to check on that. List objects. Various information about buckets or files. Yeah, I probably have to add permission to set access permissions. List parts. Display CrowdFront. Let's see, lists, what was it? Was it display information about an object? It's CloudFront again. Various information, info. Well, we got some of our stuff here. And what about that bucket? Config. Info. All right, object. File size does not give me the URL. How about the bucket? There we go. I thought anon read for the bucket. Access denied. Right. All right, now that is going to be down in some details on S3. So there's two things we can do about this. And I just want to be careful how much I'm showing on the stream. So there is build upload. Probably that should just be able to say it's a public release. I could also check S3. One double com, one life. Permissions public. It does not have a bucket policy. I think some others maybe do. So those were definitely set up. But those I know I uploaded with public access settings. It's all about blocking public access. Bucket policy. Principal all, action, get object, allow. Well, that was something that Amazon set up automatically. Oh, but that specifies the resource. So we're going to have to update that. So I go into here. All right, that's down to a single bucket. Oh, and what am I pasting there though? That should be okay. So we take that off, get that back. So permissions, we've got access control public, list objects, write objects? There's no read objects. So we have y. Because I just paste? Okay. So now we have to do, was that the full earn AWS? So this is a generated thing they did for us in part of a CloudFront process. So I think it's that. Bucket has public access. Well, how else do I serve a website? Maybe they want you to use CloudFront. So the other way to do this is, and I don't know if I want to show the policy. The policy itself might be okay. Edit policy. Do we have the interactive editor for this? I don't know why I have two groups. List, read, write. Right. So we're going to have to allow this particular role. Oh, permissions management. How about, can we do put object ACL? Not bucket stuff. You're gonna modify the public access for the AWS account? Yeah, that seems a bit much. Bucket public access. And then I'm not sure if this is going to put it back to all my stuff. Okay, so it's still on that bucket, which isn't as bad. So if we go back to here. Oh, actually just the, okay, so we probably could take off the bucket policy and just have it upload with public. But that actually got through. Since they recommend not having default public access. So we can just delete that policy, which is access policy. Now we probably can't get to this. Yeah, request denied. But if we do put with public, we do it twice, which we have to see if we can get to force version or something. Oh, and there's the public URL. How nice. Okay, save a file. So I wanted to look at, and technically I'm looking at a different version here. I don't think it's changed that much. Access key, config file. Oh, maybe it's actually config file thing. Cursive. Region redundancy. CloudFront distribution, CloudFront, S3 command version. Instead of the newer signature. Okay, so that might do it. Console, just different tab. And that was that signature v2. Okay, that does it in one step. So that is our upload command. Now some names may change once I actually start doing custom things. And that would be what we'd want to do. I am up a bit, aren't I? Cross.docker split server. That would be our default run command. So we would actually have to do I'd almost want to do a separate thing for this, because let's go into it, which we could just type out if we needed to. Which is this, and we just have our default command with the config. Oh, you know what we need to do? We went and made a bunch of shell scripts. Upload. Cross context, upload client. Okay. It's technically a new Docker file. And I need to clean up all my Docker file names at some point. Because some of the terms are a little arbitrary. And I might have to redo how I'm getting the AWS keys in, depending on where we end up running this thing. Interesting that it's still managing to update tags. And another thing I want to do is I want to actually tag these builds with the, well, it's not as important as the server, but the container basically does contain a versioned a version of the client, so it might be nice to have that properly recorded. I guess. No, I've got the server code number version outside from the fetch. So I should actually be able to grab that in a similar manner to how I'm grabbing it for the server builds. Alright, so now we have that, which runs the container. Oop. Exec user process caused exec format error. Okay. That was permissions probably. So that's just this command, right? Oh, I probably just ran... No, it was... Oh, upload client, right? Parameter problem, nothing to upload. Oh, the default is in OHAL source. So our upload client... needs to say from source... Or should build client actually build client? That's build. Let's play with that. Build cross. Should that actually dump this down? So we are in game source. So game source, one life. Then you're fine. And they'll have to rebuild that now. Oh, that's just a hydrated bot. Almost time to refill the water, though. So if I could work out the merges right, actually being able to keep around the temporary output would be nice. It's one of the nicer things about when I was just using this to compile files on my file system with a bind mount, is you're able to keep around all the object files. But I don't really know that the bind mounts would work so well if I get this running automatically somewhere in the cloud. Uh-oh. Build client cross. Oh, I want to specify this for the zip, not for the exe. And that's in the context. Server, yeah, I mean, that should almost run from a down directory, but I guess I could definitely cd down one, or I could go two and then grab it. Or maybe I should just leave the build as is and have still have the zip be part of the upload process. Full rebuilds is definitely something I would not want to use for just like working on the game or doing interactive testing. Alright, so now goes back to attempt that. Oh. Exec format error. So we're here. Number one life. Oh, maybe it's still not there. No. What? Maybe I typoed the run command? I might have seen something change there. Oh, hey, recognized that everything was the same. Nice. Nope. What am I missing? I thought that if you specified no command, it would just run that. Exec format error. No, does this work? No. With the entry point. Permission denied instead of no such file. Entry. Line endings. Oh. Upload client. No, upload client. Do you not? You need a new line, perhaps? Of course, we have to compile this in now. This shouldn't have gotten into, yeah, it's Unix mode. We were able to run it fine in Bash, so it shouldn't be a permission issue. Maybe it's being run with a different shell to execute the command? Or does it not No, because in my server config, we do run server context run shell. Oh, let me guess. Upload client, yeah. There we go, okay. I guess Bash was just kind of fudging it, saying, well, okay, let's take a script, sure. Whereas the default one was not. All right, well, that's the build again. I should probably take a break at some point. So I will be back in a few minutes.
Two small ones then. No, not up there, back behind me.
Oh good, you guys are helping.
I'm trying to stay on.
Who keeps putting a freaking seat?
If you wanted to come along, you should have gotten a... What? What?
Yeah, there's another seat back here that you should have taken.
Yeah, if you wanted to come along, we should have gotten another seat. But I didn't know that would. I didn't know you could actually die from falling off a rover. I guess there was enough momentum.
Do you want to stay? Ah, look at it, look at it. Young place, so many berries. So many berries. Oh. Oh. Here we have bear too. Come on, we stand here. Let's stand on something that's not movable. Oh, it got me. Oh my god. Oh, that. I felt that too.
Okay. But I want to like alt right click that edge. If I bring this up, how does that look? Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, that's much softer. And then yeah, this back face actually, I'm glad I selected that. I need to move this down here.
Yep, too many audio devices now when you've got the extra display in there. Welcome back. That's why I have alarms. Alright, so we have an upload process that works. We have gitignore hiding things with actual keys in them. Okay, we've done that. We've done the new uploads. We'll need to compress all of our installs at some point. Have the thing for making a config file. Possibly need a way to specify where it's going. Probably, Well, that's a problem for later, I guess. Add cross context, upload client, upload. This is actually kind of an old copy now. That's all of that stuff. That's all of that stuff. Method to upload to S3. Actually, do I have a README yet? I do. So this becomes Then there's the whole client thing. So we really have, so this was server Docker. So we kind of have server. Which bumps everything's down. And then we have client cross compile. We have haven't done any Windows stuff yet. Our basic usage is ideally very similar. We do crossfetch, compile currently. This is what all needs the new names. And then upload, this needs to copy cross context. No, just config. And fill in access and secret keys. Currently uploads to fixed S3 bucket. That's basic usage. Do we have any? Yeah, we kind of need to fill in more stuff on this at some point. Let me figure out what needs to be done. All right, you see. Am I forgetting anything? Configure S3. You know what else I should do? Upload. Is that in Docker run? Is that a command switch? Or am I thinking of something else? Automatically remove the container when it exits, yes. So since this is going to have that stuff in it, minus rm? I think so. Are there others that would need that? My other cross shell. Well, for a bash, maybe not, but I'm kind of going in there and exiting all the time. And the server container probably. That already has the RM. I never copied that when I was doing the other thing. Okay. And there's probably a Docker ls all? No. Or is it maybe Docker ps all? Yeah, so is there some sort of like cleanup? Remove one or more containers. Remove one or more containers. All right, well, let's look at that in a minute. No. Basic method to upload to S3. With runtime configured API keys. All right, so that's back to normal. Docker clean up images, or not images, containers. Docker clean up. Wait, this is a Docker file? That's meta. Okay. Docker clean. Killer running containers. Delete all stopped containers. Untang dangling images. Which we probably have a bunch of those too. And maybe some shells be good. Killer running containers. It's meh, meh, meh. No, that usually shouldn't happen. Delete all stopped containers. Oh, this is creating aliases as a... Yeah, maybe they're not project things. I wonder if this is the Alpine images versus the Ubuntu images, or maybe just things with actual stuff built in them. Alright, so one of the whole purpose of building this was really to get my patches in, and then I guess we can worry about automating stuff. Alright, so that should clean up a bunch of junk. So now I need... Well, I know about how this should work, so... This will get us into our latest image. Oh, I didn't do version tagging of the images yet, but okay. Steps at a time. So we have... Install, upload client. One life. Yeah, one life. LS. We have not done this. So I need to get this URL again. I don't think I've configured Git in... Oh, I have to configure Git as something first. Git user config in order for... or could I just... Could I use... Could I just take the data and apply it with, like, Quilt or something? I kind of wanted to... Okay, well, we'll need that. Bash script, Projects Quilt. Actually, do we have can I, what the heck could I do? Okay, that one works. This terminal is just dead. What the heck did I do? Well, so Docker PS, Docker PS. Oh man, did Docker just take a vacation? Okay then. All right, and that thing is lost. Oh man, am I just gonna have to restart the computer? All right, let's make sure we save that. So I could conceivably get the patches into the source tree before starting up the container. Well, I still need to have a command there to do it in the case that we don't do that. Which, if we, yeah, so if we continue with standard st-git, which we've done a little bit of, we can prove out some stuff, and then if Docker hasn't woken up, we're going to have to restart the computer, I guess. Oh, wait, it came up. Okay, there are no containers running. Okay, I have a console. We wanted to apt cache search if we had graphical. Oh! Cool. Quilt That, well, might be interesting. So we've got Quilt. Guilt was one I didn't run across before. Mercurial Cues. Changes are maintained as patches, which are committed to Git. It can be removed or reordered. Patch directory. Patches which are committed. Huh? Okay, so this is more of a, well, there, how does that work? Patches branch. No. Series status. Okay, so that maintains it as a patch file. Doesn't say anything about the effect on history. What's the different? Formerly GQ. Plain old SD-Git uses Git's object database. Losing of a three-way merge. Written in Python, and Git uses shell scripts. Oh. Interact with legacy SCMs. Auto export the stack. Just use the diff files directly. Patch related objects. Get prune safe. Git apply and get a commit. If commit. One cannot run any valid Git command on it. Is that Quilt or ST-Git? Git apply, git recursive merge. So it does have the three-way merge thing going on. Although I tend to get very confused anytime conflicts happen. Tracking a patch history. Alright, so quilt would be an option. But what kind of assumptions is that going to make? Yeah, that I might have to get this in. Whenever I think about this, I think I should get into it on a different project. So, config. Oh, let's config global. We do technically only have to do it in one repository. Now, what does that look like? What are we doing for our attribute command currently? Build Docker file? No, cross Docker file. We've got config, git, attributes. I forget what I was doing that made it actually do that. Oh. Alright, so I'm in context. Quick little check. One life, git status. Oh, probably we're specifying it on the checkout commands for that. Okay. So we need the commands to get config user.name. It's probably going to want, I'm guessing, user.email. And the syntax is user.name space. Yeah, config user.email. So we can take that. So that is a run and a copy. Or maybe I put this all into the shell script for stgit since it's all part of that stuff. Because build client cross, fetch latest tagged. Maybe we end up with a shell script that does the patching. We want to start collecting our commands. So, actually, we'd probably want a script that could work in either. Similar to, well, it's going to fetch it again. So you, that does. That is going to do a git checkout. So you kind of, yeah, okay, so I can do a similar thing here. Edit, cross, context, apply patches. And maybe this is where, well, that would set us up to be able to do some kind of git operations in general. So this is expecting to run from source. So I guess this would be and I moved from here. Probably still don't have an SSH set up. And then you want to be as, just because that's where I've been doing it. And hello, user MX, thank you for the follow. Patches master. I don't necessarily have tags. I don't have that. Minus F. I don't know those flags. So minus F, I'm assuming, is force. Force. Quiet, suppress. Okay. So that's the cross version. That's the sed fix up. So probably would have been close to one of these. Oh, and that is, yeah, the, oh, actually, this is where it's doing that fix up. Hey, Yubs, how's it going? Git checkout. So that's patches master. Then we would cd and attempt to stg import patches master import.series. Okay. Yeah, I was originally doing some of this development in merge mode, so it was easier to do stuff. I would want to use a different. No, that's what that directory is for. Since I have a source that's going to context, yeah, I might actually need to make a different container for the local compiling mode. Well, I've got it uploading to S3. I don't know if it's in a way that it's compatible with wherever we're going to end up putting it. But basically just bind mounting a directory with an S3 command config file in it. I guess I should run through these commands and try to debug it a little bit. So we know it's not going to exist. Unpacking objects. We need to be checking actual commands here, not typing them out, however simple they are. I guess I could merge in a different directory that just had or bind mount that just had the thing that I was testing, and then I could run the script. Just say go run that. Not on any branch. So I've been doing master, but this process is actually set up to do So this is a not on well, first of all I have to STG init. Forgot about that. Not on any branch. And that was patches master. But master is something different. Well, I'm not going to export from here, I guess. But we do need to do this. So git checkout -b patched stg init stg import. And we should actually have this command in history here. Okay, trailing white space. And make won't do a whole lot here, but oh, right, cd game source, which should be part of our regular build process. Build client cross cd configure cd game source make. So that means our Docker file, what do we call this? Apply patches. So I wonder, you mentioned that Jason made a client update, but I didn't see one go out. I wonder if the animation updates were just for his little animated GIF thing. Because he did have kind of a complicated one there. Uh-oh. Okay, yeah, that's right. You were commenting that he did make some. Well, it was to that repository. Yeah, maybe it wasn't to the actual client. All right, so the git config commands. Oh, those have to be running the repository. So actually, I did want to move that anyway, because that can be part of apply patches now, and that has to be done in. So cloning the repository is fine. Have some dummy name in here. I probably could figure out where this is stored and just patch the file. Okay. Well, yeah, and in part of one of the things I was poking at was, okay, where's the client version number? And it turns out it's literally just in the source code. So now I know where to check for that official update. I'm currently being lazy and using the server code version number, figuring that it's going to be checking for greater than or equal to anyway. Or maybe it's less than or equal in a couple other conditions, but... Ooh, and we made a new script and forgot to mod it. Cross context. Oh, and this is, oh. I might want to pull that into the fetch script so that my local copy actually just has that preloaded instead of downloading it every time. Because I am running that same thing. Get fetch, checkout, and then the apply would actually be a separate step. Okay. Oh, never saw those before. One line adds white space. So it definitely doesn't take a while to, okay, so so actually CD1 life, we'll just have to remember that's there. This is, oh, actually this is in one life here. That kind of doesn't matter as much. And I removed that from here, correct? Yes. All right, so we're going to have to test this again. You know, I did not run across that one when I was looking at the build process. Oh, I did way too big of a search here. Okay, and speaking of which, I need to... There's a couple of things I need to do here, but... we just changed our scripts. So nothing references that file. What makes it? Oh, I forgot. Part of the point of this, I mean, yes, I want to test that, but I wanted to test crossfetch, which fetch that, and then we compile this. And then I can look in, well, in my built container. Or is that like a typo, possibly? So if we look at one life build, a little test build. Oh no, it's lowercase binary. So if we go, all right, so CD cross context 1 source 1 life. That is make distribution that does that. And based on the argument that it was given. So that's a lot of a manual process as far as I understand it. I am not currently building distributions, and I would have to provide that argument if I was. I wonder if there's a way to do arguments to Docker. Well, no, there's like a special thing you can do if it's meant to be used as sort of a command line. All right, it says it's successfully built. Okay, that's just hydrated bot. All right, so now there's a couple little changes now that we're making a. All right, so cross. So I want to look at the cross dot, and I still want to rearrange some of these files. Upload client. Yeah, none of this explicitly mentions it. So we have apply patches doesn't. Build client cross has it. All right, so I've come up with a name if I actually get around to publishing this thing. So we're gonna do that. That, and then probably just upload. Was it upload? Oh, maybe I haven't refreshed this directory in a while. Upload client. All right, and then we're gonna have to recompile that with a couple script differences. So does that mean Jason's making changes, or is that just Git doing its thing? Well, nothing that showed up in Discord. Change watcher. All right, everything is okay. Now, I haven't actually been testing these builds in a little bit, but We can actually do a full test. Oh, I don't actually have a chat app, do I? If apparently there's too much stuff going on right now. All right, so I can open this. And let's see, we're kind of done. Save file. Kind of done with the AWS stuff. So that should be in downloads. And we just want to copy this out. Oh, but I just replaced my context. At the moment, I still have a working directory down here. And I have to go update and start a server. Build. I updated the files in here. I haven't updated anything else. And then, well, I can make sure it doesn't blow up. Even if it doesn't connect. Yeah, and maybe I should look into executable signing. That could be a thing. I mean, not that that would really stop because it's a never before seen program. And this one is still set to auto connect. Oh, and it's set to localhost right now. Which, I mean, I think I've got that stuff somewhere. I just have to remember how it was all working after a few days. All right, so go back over here. We're pretty much here already. We just have to fetch local fetch. That does the server update. Then we do this is some of the names I need to clean up because it's like build what. Ooh, and that the way I'm doing patches right now only works if that branch doesn't exist, which means we're doing it the way we're currently doing it, not if. Well, I guess if I'm doing it at the local directory, it may have already applied. No, yeah, I have to sort that stuff out. Or if we go to more of a patch-based, like a quilt-based system. Well, it probably still keeps track of what's applied, probably. I want a new tab because we're going to end up running a server here, and that might just be kind of up. Okay, so we don't even have sed. Wow. But that was for the cross-platform patch. So that should be fine. It just ended up getting rolled up in that fetch script because we were reusing it in both for a while. I'm probably also going to need to work out some way of version suffixing in case I do patch updates that aren't following from a actual game version update. All right, and then we build a nice compact server package out without all of the source code and everything. And compile artifacts and whatever else ended up in there. All right, we've got a server. So back to. No, we want that. We want this off. Settings, all my different programs. And I'm probably going to have to add this to my keypad at some point. And, okay. We're shivering. Everything seems to be fine. All right, so we still don't have, this is still a manual process for me to trigger this, but at least it's kind of a one script process, which would make it a lot easier to maintain something like this. What is, getting a little bit late. Let's go back over there to there. All right, do I need a server? Probably not too much right now. So we have to add. Yes, we shuffled that stuff around, changed some names, apply patches during build. So now the question is, where could we possibly host? Well, I need to know about. Well, that might depend on the hosting environment too. I want to know about everything. GitHub hooks. I want to know about this in general, and then is it possible repository webhooks? Repos owner. It's repository admins to manage the post-receive hooks. So how does something like oh, cool. Yeah, that was another reason to post it in chat so that other people could prove it's actually working. Actually pulling the game version number out is a or the client binary. Actually, I know he has one life server. We're currently using cross-context source. Oh, right. There's probably is that executable metadata or something else? Ah, okay. So we have detached head master, one life server, and one life v177. Okay. Yeah, so that's all stuff I need to look into, like that executable signing. It could be a whole adventure, especially if it's all Windows only tools. So the thing that's not clear right now, because they happen to be in sync, is if OneLife live server and if there's OneLife v177 only for the client, or does a server update also update that tag? Which is the thing I might just kind of have to watch as he's doing changes when these things get out of sync. Oh, you know what? We haven't got a client update. The client... Well, no, he prepared for a binary client, but I don't think I've received one. Or maybe I already received it. I don't know. Yeah, I've played since then. Okay. Okay. Or maybe it was maybe it was Minor Gems. The updates happened in. Nope, okay. Yeah, it extracts the version from yeah. All right, so that is that. PWD cross context. Source OneLife. Call and build. Test system. Yeah, they get it from the tag. Yeah. So they get the server code, and that is something I'm pulling from there. And that is OneLife V, and that is considered the server version, not the live server. Yeah, he does have a thing. Well, he has a thing that can verify that the version in the source is set correctly. Or, yeah, maybe executable metadata is an easier task to handle right now. And that might be a specific case, but XC resources, RC edit. That is itself an execute in XE. Oh, icon.rc ends up doing everything? Okay. Oh, wait, there should already be one of those, no? Oh. Okay, sort of. No, I think this did get touched in the build process. So if we go down here, cross.shell gets me into the latest one. CD OneLife. That would actually be a... Oh, that's a build Win32. I mean, still. And there's icon.ico. I'd swear I had seen that changed before. So apparently he doesn't do... Well, I mean, did you find that, or did you add all the details? Oh, file version. I might format that differently myself because it seems to just be a incrementing number. You know, just make it 177 or 000177 or something. Yeah, and then some of this other metadata gets interesting. Oh, this file, well, you could still put a number there, I think, unless it's restricted to single digits. Because it's like it's actually you producing it, but most of the code is JSON's. So we would have to go in and update that in a couple of version fields. Uh, Is that something I can easily do with shell? Or, I mean, it can probably doable. Is there an easier way to template out a file? One life build 132? So having not actually run the let me check my other one. That's a build Windows. Is Win32 a separate thing, or would step for that in the make file? Okay. So Windows doesn't. This doesn't have an RC. This is still, yeah, just the icon. So is Win32 a different build than Windows? There's only a mixed distribution in Windows. Generate caches. Oh, Win32 to Windows. Okay. Okay. Windows is the folder it builds into. Wait, so it copies everything. I just saw this. Oh, all the DLLs. Ah, okay. There's a Windows extractor. Or is it ICO? icon.rc. Oh yeah, there's SDL.dll. Did I hit return here? Because I didn't think I was that far. Oh, I opened this up at a... This might not have a good directory. Well, it does think it's in a Git repo. Okay, one life build. If anything, well, this could end up being in minor gems. Because all right. Icon.o. Ooh. WindRes. Okay. And apparently that's something available to the systems. Yeah, exactly. But this copy might not be a patched copy. Whereas the one in there, some of the directories I have up there were definitely patched copies. Oops, wrong one. So if we go... Okay, just so... Oh, this is a... I may not have been running on this one. Minor Gems platforms? Game platform SDL. Okay, so it's not in any of the stuff you've done so far. It's something else. Or maybe you just updated your local icon.rc. Well, no, because you have to update the version. But we should have... WindRes. Okay. Somehow it works. Pull and build test. That's where I looked at that. Minor Gems. Git ref. Oh, it's server code version number, yes. So server code version number, great, that's something. We don't actually know if it's necessarily the client, but it seems to be kind of pulling from the same tag. Or is that where you updated your local copy? That kind of line, because I think I end up doing that in fetch. Well, I don't have it here. I have to go down in one of my fetch latest tags. I do it every time we fetch, we update the tag. Oh, yeah. Oh, you know what? He did use that to check it. So in a script, you can get the actual version. Game client version. And, oh, and actually that doesn't even depend on get info. So if you've got a checkout of the source, you could tag it. I was being lazy about getting that. CD cross context source one life. Oh, CPP file ver. Ah, so that's where you're pulling it out. Okay. But that does give us a little bit better. Where were we using that? That's going to be one of our scripts, actually. The build. Well, let's just server code version. Fetch latest tag. Get server code version. That's notes server CPP. Pull and build. Okay, so build client cross, the only place I'm actually referencing this. When we build the zip file, so I should be able to say, you know, something like this, and then now we need shell syntax. Game client version to do that. So that will get it, but we have to format an entire... I don't know the tricks for like bulk text replacement in shell script, but okay, so we are in the container right now. This is where we have to check our compile and make sure that's all happy. That's also where I might be able to create a space for I guess I could put a version file in the patches repository, then I could fetch that and tag it on somehow. All right, so how does a shell script fill a template in the large? Shell script, new file from template. Cat with, okay. That should actually be pretty straightforward. And was there... okay, I didn't have a window open for this yet. Or I changed it to this one. Let me close you. Docker. One life. Here's game source. Is there a... Okay, there's no icon here. It's in the makefile. I guess they're referencing the one in Win32, if that's the only one we got. I would need... we have no editor in here. Creating archive. Okay, so that worked. So how are they managing that? So this actually should have been, once upon a time, an edited source. With the updated makefile. Which might even have a real makefile. We have dep, we have o, okay. A little bit easier getting here. Game source, makefile, ICO. Yeah, build Win32 icon, build Win32 icon RC, so... Oh, and this is actually using the adjusted name as far as what we can do with that. Wait, copy, build Win32 ICO. Oh, and RC into local directory. So once we've run it, there's these extra files here. And then immediately invokes WinRes. Oh no, because it's cross context, cross makefile. Okay, it says all this stuff built in. So we could actually add that step. Well, or we do a pre-step that overwrites icon.rc. Where are we doing this stuff now? Build, cross Docker file. Yeah. So we fetch latest tagged, apply patches, which is that, which is where do we build client cross? Does fetch cross fetch actually do? Yes, we just go into there. And then that was just a directory copy, so we don't want to put all that stuff up there. So we would have a script that would dump that out. And since that's a big template, you'd probably want to have a separate script even if it's called from something like this. Did I open that template here, or is that I did? Edit. Cross context. Oops. And then we had gone from our build, yes, got the client version. So many files. Oh, this is going to be a shell script. So we start with that. Ooh. I'm going to have to watch. So this needs to go version number. It defaults to source as our working directory. And then this is originally cat. When we found this, is it cat and then, this is my template, or say, well, yeah, if we call the shell script, we could redirect it there. All right, so now I probably need to make sure that there's no restrictions here. Pull and then copy the file. You said update those, yeah. I guess I didn't want to get into all the regexes to do that. This is such descriptive. This looks wrong. Icon info. Maybe? No. This is not as good as it looked. Oh, and it's doing all the internal references. Yeah, you could put a tag in there to make it easier. You've got all the common broken ones and stuff. All right, so RC file version. How about that? Version info. There is a version info resource there. File version, binary version number for the file. Well, they're 16-bit integers. I don't expect that to ever overflow. Oh, and there's product version. Which the file, the version is 232. So that's interesting because they say See file version. This seems like the exact same description, but this is seems to be perfectly happy with this. I mean, if anything, you should be like incrementing this on every build or something. I don't know. This seems overly restrictive in general. But I would have to have some way to, like, I don't know, timestamp that or something. But a timestamp is probably a 32-bit integer, so I'd actually have to break that up and do it as the next two fields, and yeah. I have to figure out how to get that. Can you even get a shell timestamp? I mean, I guess you could do like date. This is the question. Use a function and, oh, well, I mean, I don't care that much about the now. Oh. Okay. Ah. That's great for file tagging. Oops. Well. Oh, that might actually be end up being a shell script thing, and we care about the one that's going to be in here anyway. Oh, well, it'll still be UTC, right? Which should be somewhat accurate. Yeah, invalid date format. Oh, it's a plus here. Okay, so that gives you a time. Yeah, that is not what I wanted. Time. It's a timestamp of sorts. But that's for a human readable. We've got nanoseconds. I mean, if anything, I'd want more. Yeah. Convert second since the epoch to the date. How do we go the other way? Maybe that's not date's job. Yeah, second since epoch, but that is convert it into a date? Oh, S? Oh, there it is, seconds. However, that is going to be, I presume a 32-bit number. So to use it in that field, which is, where's the doc again? The version 2 32-bit integers defined by 4 16-bit integers. So I'd have to do some really fancy stuff to split that. So date, I mean, date would be pretty good. You know, if we could, well, and that would be 3 numbers. So presumably that's going to be like, well, some of these you don't really know. Oh, we would actually not want space padded for this. Oh, actually day of year for, I could do day of year hour. It's 0 padded, which hopefully I don't mind. Actually, isn't one of these? No, seconds 0 to 60. We get down to hour. For versioning of it. So we could do file version, game client version, comma. Does that not work how I think it works? Or is that just the syntax being mad? No, for this it's actually a command. Although I guess it might be a little bit more proper to do that. Product version from the string file info. String file info. Well, oh, that's another thing we have to get to, but oh, they're both okay. So we have to have 2 of these. Yeah. So that's actually going to be a different format for every. Well, we want aim time for. It's 2 different formats of the same data. All right. Well, fine. No, because I'll have multiple calls to date. Well, we're all going to get the smallest of them once. You can still conceivably roll over. I know I'm overthinking this. Let's see. It's more of a date stamp, even though it's kind of a time stamp. And then we have to be able to then the trick is I have to be able to run sed on a variable. Okay, what do we got here? Oh. What I do to... Okay. Block. Okay, that's just double paste. Oh, okay. So actually it should be this one and this one. Oh, and that's how it shows up. Yeah. Wait, yeah, you're using... Oh, product version actually includes the extra stuff, huh? I was thinking file version would be like have like incremental changes, and then product version is what you released it as. Oh, a product version is more forgiving, as in you should put more detailed stuff there. Okay, so I'll have to switch that around. Where am I actually putting stuff? Oops. But we do have two different formats. Yeah. Yeah, so this is a technical description. Oh, this is file. This is versions of things within a product. Product is like the overarching thing. So actually, I think I'm back to thinking I was right in my original idea. This should be more like overarching. Okay, it's, well, it's still my version of it, but we do have two different formats of file version here. So now I need to know how to run sed on a variable. Would that be something like... Well, oh, that one is a string, though, so that could be potentially... And hello. Hello. Thank you for following me. Using the template. Okay, so that is... Oh, that's actually file version 0. So... Well, actually... Can shell do regex directly? Some command, some command. Yeah, Perl. That's at the shell. Okay, you can split and G-sub and stuff, but essentially we're looking at doing a sed call. Oh, sed is files, though. Mm-hmm. Some command grep. Grep sed. There has to be a thing to work on if we're piping into it. But are we piping in? No, grep found it, right? Well, if we're putting in a variable, it'll be the same as just calling it. Actually, comma is going to be easier to replace. S comma dot. The G doesn't actually matter that much. In, I guess to be exactly equivalent to the pipe style, we would say like echo. Oh, we do need G. Okay, so it actually is like that. So we need to run a command that. And would this work if we just passed it in, or is it expecting a file? Yep, that's its file directory. Sed minus es comma dot G. All right, so we've got that timestamp. It's the overarching. Well, yeah. That is actually too much, unfortunately. If I ever do my own little version number in here, I'm not going to have room for that. All right, so this is going to be game client version dot we're completing over the entire project here. Product version, game client version. All right, so that takes care of all that stuff. So this stuff gets weird. Product name, file description. Copyright probably is still accurate. Oh, is it? Oh, it is. I was just trying to bring up my router here to see if make sure it wasn't something hammering the bandwidth, but that is a bit disturbing. Alright, so I'll turn the alarm off for now. That was kind of a shame because so this this is just outputting right now. So we should be able to so this is expecting to run in the source directory. Output. Oh, it's not chmod u. Okay, 2018. Ooh, file version did not work. Now, I was testing a different version of sed there. Or I got lazy and changed. Yeah, you know what? I changed this format. So those actually seem to work. No. What's up with that? It definitely works here. We definitely have file version. Oh, yeah, I don't do enough shell scripting to have that ingrained. And then I might eventually put another dot in there. Well, you know what? Given that, I would almost rather version my patches more significantly than a single number, but that's kind of what we've got available to us right now. Patch version equals 0. I'll just put that in there as a placeholder. Oh, too much stuff. Okay. That should be able to complete. All right, so that's there. To have this in our process, maybe apply patches. So that's going to go into one life. It's not going to touching. This is technically going to go out into minor gems. We're applying a bunch of cross-compile stuff. Oh, that actually puts us in minor gems, but we need to do stuff with one life that we haven't fetched yet. So now we're down 2 directories. Output metadata dot shell 2 minor gems build. No. Oh, no, it is. No, it's not a minor gem. Okay. Which actually means we should probably redo output metadata to run from one life. Build win32 icon.rc. The tricky part, well, I guess I'll have to ship it over to Windows and then check. It came up here, up here. And while that's running, is this something we have to do on a Windows box? I mean, there's obviously going to be some registration and key management that I can't do on stream. Even if this is available off of Windows systems. This is Dashboard Administration, Windows Hardware Dev Center. No, I mean, sure, but not quite. Code signing. Microsoft Authenticode. No, I don't need the certificates. I just need to know about the process. Thanks. Windows hardware. No, it's all about single certificates. Maybe we need just Authenticode. XE, yeah. Windows drivers, Visual Studio. All right, how's our build going? Still going, but getting there. Generate your own certificate. Yeah, self-sign is probably fine now. This is as much to try and make it, well, like maybe a self-sign certificate would actually look more suspicious. I don't know. Make cert.exe. Timestamps. Expired certificates. So can you do Authenticode on piling DLLs? All right, so that's there. So actually the easiest way to do this is to replace the file because we don't have any. Oh, I guess I could also have like build environment version. I have to figure out how to do that. All right, and I actually think I still had this up here. So save file. I probably got downloads up, right? Yeah. Oh, so that was weird. Okay, but yeah, so we're there. So that got no extra properties. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so that's just something I keep hearing about, so I figured it would be good to say that it was actually me that did it, but you know, or my bot anyway. So that did not properly apply any attributes to that. Actually, oh, because we're in a zip file. It's not able to do the inspection here. I appear to have closed my actual directory here. Ah, okay. Yeah, I just keep hearing it in the context of, you know, protection against viruses and whatnot. Details? No, that also did not work. And unless I already clicked on this before, that got replaced. No. Yeah, if I got into other Windows Dev. So that did not go out to the right place, I guess. More. One Life. Build. Win32. Oop. So either it got replaced by something, or it didn't output properly in the first place. That would actually be in the fetch. Oh, directory non-existent. Okay. Oh, no, it's not down here. We're in One Life. All right, so it sounds like code signing is not actually a thing that's going to be worth it. Let's see, and I'd probably have to get into manually versioning the Docker setup as well for anything significant. At which point there's not enough space left for any kind of useful timestamp, really. I mean, anything that would be guaranteed incrementing. If you've got build environment and patch set, which even then only have single numbers to themselves. At which point you start getting into like weird packing like they're doing with file version, so. Yeah, so I still need to rename all of the, I kind of want to like better clarify what's the, this stuff is for the server, this stuff is for the client. They should almost be different projects, but they're all kind of one of our Docker stuff, or One Life Docker stuff. Wait, cannot find one file. Oh, no resources. So we apparently have a typo in there. Can I actually get into that, or is that not going to be a successful build? More One Life build 132. That was not a successful build, or it didn't output correctly. So, well, one thing we need to do is, so One Life output oh, I do have to be down 2, don't I? Right, because I have my directory off. Okay, so it runs and it outputs useful stuff. But we have this wrong. Ooh, that might not run when I'm doing fetch local. Huh. Well, I mean, if you, I guess the idea is that if you've identified yourself to that extent, they'll have an easy time tracking you down for any malware you make, which presumably would discourage making malware. Yeah, that security tends to do that. Oh. Is that going to block patches because it's a So we have to be very careful about the order we do this in. This is one of the reasons I want to maybe think about redoing STG, because it's kind of a pain in the butt. I mean, I guess that's generally to protect you. Output. So we can't do that. Anything that modifies the repository. So this is going to have to be in apply patches, which is going to be done in One Life. So that's at least, so we import that, then do our custom. Actually, no, if that's in One Life, I was originally thinking, well, we still want this to be a script, so fine. That was the clone to patches. We didn't have anything above that. I probably should fix that patch sometime. And arguably, I should also be doing some similar version numbering with the zip file. But I guess I can deal with that at the point where I actually have a update to the same version number. Okay, we think that built correctly. No, I still haven't really gotten into any of them, and I suspect that I'm going to have to rejigger some things for their environments. It's like, I know I've done Circle CI before where they are Docker based, but they expect you to actually run commands, at which point I'd probably want to not run them in the VM and actually be able to break down steps for, like, reconnection successful. Wow, that was a hard drop. Is it because it tried to push more data up the connection? I mean, that would have been a pretty intense upload, I guess. All right, so we're done about here. That was the other one. Hey, we set metadata. And I guess it does have date modified on it. Oh, that could be maybe updated locally. All right, well, I'm pretty sure that I am, yeah, I'm a little bit past lunchtime. Just a little bit. And apparently having network problems that I hope will not continue. Maybe it was the updates, maybe, who knows. But that is, well, I still have to commit that stuff, but I've achieved a thing. So thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out and helping me. And we're apparently running ads right now. Helping me through a few ooh. Okay, no, that was, that's the zip file. Okay, thinking that was something else. Through some hard bits. Do I have... Okay, the network disruptions have completely removed my host list. So, thanks, guys. I probably do need... It's probably getting to the point where I have... You know, once upon a time, hosting was... like, people are hosting me? What the heck? And now it's like, it's getting to be a pretty long list. So I might have to see if I can grab that and do... just a little credits roll or something. But if Hostable's working, I can at least recommend somewhere to go next. Do we have any other code going on? That's not code, but that's still something I've dabbled with in the past. I got somebody doing streaming board game design. If my network is working right now. You know, I've seen a credits roll before. I don't I tried searching for it and I didn't find much. I think I found one thing that was like using like the Streamlabs client output, and I have some of that stuff. It doesn't. That only includes the hosts that alerted. Yeah, I'm loading real slow right now, so I'm not seeing dropped frames right now. All right, so I can't get the preview of that right now. Hopefully your network is running better than mine. So yeah, looks like VideoGarver is doing some board game design stuff. If you're looking for someplace cool to hang out, that looks like someplace cool to hang out. Thanks for hanging out with me. Hopefully I'll be playing on this recently built client this afternoon and checking out the oil changes and stuff. Goodbye, and until next time.